So it's definitely not a secret that this channel is all about anything related to technology that goes from accessories all the way up to TVs, which is why I bring this video to you today. It has a mixture of both TVs and gaming consoles because right now those two worlds are colliding, and what it's creating is a mad dash for what are the best TVs to buy with these next gen consoles. So that's what we're going to cover today in this video. Alright, so before we get started, you guys definitely hit that subscribe button, like this video, share this video. Alright, let's get into it. So today we're going to be covering and discussing the top 3, and hint, there is a bonus, a fourth TV that will pair with your next gen console, whether it's a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. But I want to give you a little bit of background before. If I provide you a TV that maybe doesn't fit your budget, or you just don't really like what I've provided, then at least use these helpful tips to find the TV for you. You definitely want to look for HDMI 2.1. You also want 120 Hz to be native in the panel. And if you haven't watched the video where I discussed whether you should use a gaming monitor or a TV, then please go back and watch it, because I cover a topic called HDR, high dynamic range, and 10-bit panels. Freshen yourself up, come back, play this video from this point forward, and that's something you want to look for, is HDR. Now, there's a lot of other features that we're going to be covering today on these TVs, but we'll discuss each one individually and why it's important for your next console. So we'll be covering 3 different budget options. What we'll be covering is low to mid-range budget, mid-range budget, and high-range budget. I don't have any extremely low budget TVs for this video because there really aren't any that are gonna be the most compatible with the newest consoles coming out. Getting right into it, we're gonna start with the lowest budget option that I have for you, which I call, we really need to stick to a budget here. And that TV is the LG NanoCell 8600 49-inch. This thing is 120 Hz. It's a full array TV. It has Gsync and variable refresh rate technology. It's HDR10. It has HDMI 2.1. It has deep blacks from the NanoCell technology. It has auto low latency mode. It's an IPS panel. It's pretty low cost, and to top it all off, it's DTS:X compatible. Let's talk about the cons. It has a very dark picture overall compared to other similar TVs, maybe something like the Q60 or Vizio's P series. It's not a direct lit TV, so even though it is full array, it's not actually lit from behind, or at least the information I can find and from what I see, it's not a direct full array with local dimming on the back. And if you look close enough on the LG website, you'll notice that it's not actually a true 10-bit native panel. It's 10-bit with dithering. Now, I can go on and on about what dithering is, but just know that it's a form of encoding that enhances or boosts the color to be able to hit that 10-bit capability. So it is better than 8-bit, but it can come with some sacrifices, such as banding or artifacting while you're doing anything that's true HDR. So it's kind of a drawback, but you do save on cost. Right now it's $599, and its normal retail price, I believe, is $649. Again, that's at the shooting of this video. Okay, moving on to the second budget option. I care what I have, but I don't have a massive budget. This is where the bonus TV comes in, because it's a bit of a toss-up between 2 different brands here. So stay tuned, because I'm going to give you a bonus and a nice secret tip to this TV that isn't widely known by everybody. So I'm going to give you the first option, then we'll do the bonus round, and we'll get the second TV option, which I think you guys are going to love. So the mid-budget TV, my first option, is the Samsung QLED Q60T. That's the 2020 model. And this thing features HDMI 2.1. It's FreeSync and variable refresh rate capable. It has a 120 Hz panel. It's a true 10-bit panel. It has a center stand. It has ultra deep blacks. It has an auto game mode with a low latency option coming in at 10 milliseconds. Wide viewing angles, and once again, DTS:X capable for all of you gamers out there that are looking at the Xbox Series X. And the honorable mention here is the HDR capability, because of these deep, rich blacks, is phenomenal. The contrast ratio of this TV is better than almost any other TV on the market, especially for the price. And I can't stress that enough, because I've seen this TV a lot, and I know that in active HDR settings, the picture is prime. So there's a couple cons here. It's only a 10 millisecond response time. It's not really as bright as some of the other TVs out there. It's not as dim as the NanoCell from LG, but it's definitely not as bright as, say, the Q90T, which has double the local dimming capability. The last con about it is there's no onboard game settings. When you plug that HDMI in, it auto sets to the game mode, and you have no control afterwards, unless of course you're on a PC, but we're talking consoles. Okay, bonus round of content, you guys. I have an awesome TV to showcase for you guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with all your friends, and let's get into it. I chose this because of its handshake capability with the Ps5, and I think you guys will enjoy it. This is the Sony Bravia X900H, and it's a 55-inch TV. Now, I do think that's a bit of a drawback being 55 inches, but if you're in a living room, that's definitely the sweet spot. Let's jump in. This guy has HDMI 2.1. It's 120 Hz panel. It's 10-bit, which is phenomenal for HDR gaming. It does have auto low latency mode / game mode. It's a direct full array with a local dimming panel, so your contrast ratio is going to be phenomenal. And the best part about it is the fact that you can use one remote with the PS5 to power everything on that you need with the PS5, which is phenomenal, because that handshake capability is almost impossible anywhere else that you go. And it does have some of the other features that other TVs have, right? I already mentioned the HDMI 2.1, but it is variable refresh rate on that HDMI 2.1 port. So when you plug in your Xbox or your PlayStation into that 2.1 port, you're gonna get buttery smooth gaming. Honorable mentions would be the DTS audio, Dolby Vision, and of course their phenomenal X1 processor, which they have a couple different levels of, but nonetheless, the X1 processor is the best in the business, which means you're gonna get amazing picture quality from this TV, very similar to the Q80, priced at $999. Now, there are some downsides to this TV. It does not have the ultra deep blacks that the Q80 has, which in turn also means it doesn't have the extra wide viewing angles that the Q80 has. So if you are using this in your living room, you want to size appropriately. It does not have a center stand, so if you're putting this on a desk, even though 55 is really large, it's definitely gonna be funky sitting on the desk. And the last con is the fact that it has no input lag or pixel response time listed. It just says low latency mode, but doesn't actually give you a number, which is a bit concerning, but at the same time, I know that they've tailor-made this for the PlayStation 5, so I think the experience will be good. So let's jump right into the top of the top, the cream of the crop, the #1 option when it comes to TVs and gaming on your next gen console. You probably know exactly where I'm going. Just in case you don't, I am going directly to LG's OLED CX TV at 48 inches. Yes, I know this guy is $1,499, but let me tell you why I believe it's the best TV that you can get for console gaming. Not only is this guy a 10-bit panel with a 120 Hz refresh rate, but all four HDMI ports are 2.1. That means if you want your PS5, your Xbox Series X, your PC, and one other 2.1, HDMI 2.1, you're not gonna run out of options for new media, new components being plugged into this TV anytime soon. Out of all the TVs I mentioned, it's the best with Gsync and variable refresh rate. It's actually certified through NVIDIA for Gsync capability. There is so much more to this TV, and that is, my friends, that it has a 1 millisecond pixel response time. Blow me away, because I can't even find a great HDR monitor that has 1 millisecond response time. I mean, okay, that's not totally true. Yes, I can find one, and I have, and I'm sitting right in front of it, and it's made by LG. So let me tell you that their 1 millisecond response time is not new to us. Now, a couple of the honorable mentions would be it does have a preset game mode. It also has a center stand. You could actually put this on a desk and it could be enjoyable. And if you're plugging video sources into it and you want to be able to get DTS:X onto your surround sound system, it's going to be compatible with this TV. The last thing I'll say as far as a benefit for the LG OLED is it has the best black levels in the business, the best contrast ratio in the business. If you're looking to go for a 55, 65, or even up to a 77, you're gonna get amazing picture quality with great viewing angles. However, there are some cons to this guy, so let me tell you exactly what they are. First and foremost, probably the most disappointing con is the fact that I have read and I have heard there are some software issues with Gsync capability because these consoles are not utilizing Gsync and they're utilizing variable refresh rate. I don't expect there to be any issues, and I actually expect LG to push a software update to fix this issue. Now, con number 2 is the fact that it doesn't have any onboard game settings. The reason I mention these cons is I'm gonna be doing another video. I'm doing another video on the top gaming monitors for consoles, next gen consoles. So I wanna prep you guys and let you know that these onboard settings sometimes do make a difference. And the fact that TVs don't have them is definitely a drawback. A lot of the tinkering you can do on the inside of your monitor with the onboard menu makes a huge difference in your gaming experience. The last con is pretty obvious, and it's the fact that this is a $1,500 potentially gaming monitor that you're going to be buying. And unless you need a TV and a gaming monitor at the same time, or you just have a big budget to spend, it's probably going to be out of most people's wheelhouse. Nevertheless, it's still rated my #1 because it has features that other TVs just cannot hit. So let's talk about some of these features and why they're important. Let's start with the nanocell. The fact that it has the 10-bit with dithering. Well, that means the TV's doing more work for you to be able to get your HDR experience. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a big reason that we all want these next-gen consoles is for the best graphics possible and the smoothest possible gameplay. With the nanocell, I told you that it was a full array edge lit, not a direct lit. An edge lit local dimming means that different zones light up rather than the whole edge. And the whole TV doesn't have to light up to one specific brightness or dimness, which means you don't get this gray haze. Look at your TV. If you have a little bit of an older TV or you bought a cheap TV, look, pull up a dark movie and you'll notice that the black areas are actually gray. So we don't really want edge lit for the best quality picture. A great QLED TV like the Q90 or the Q80 probably has about 300 to 500 different dimming areas. An OLED, each pixel turns on and off. To put that into perspective, on a 4K TV, you have roughly 8.3 million pixels. That is the best, most sharpest video that you're going to get with the highest contrast ratio. So look at your lighting panels on what you're looking to buy, or check out this list here, see what you can afford, and remember not to go cheap. That doesn't mean this is a bad TV. I would say it's probably my favorite TV under that $600 to $700 price point because it does offer a lot of features like the Gsync FreeSync. that brings me to my next point, which is the FreeSync capability, Gsync, and variable refresh rate. Why is this important? Well, we know that these consoles are being packed with AMD graphics, and they're gonna be fully capable of utilizing a variable refresh rate technology, which means while you're gaming, let's say you're only actually getting about 90 frames per second in game, the software is going to take that additional 30 frames per second and insert it into your clip. Rather than having missing frames, it's going to add them in for you. This allows for a smoother gameplay and less screen tearing. Now, the biggest, most obvious piece of technology that are similar between all of these TVs is the HDMI 2.1. What the heck is that? And why is it necessary for you? Well, if you're looking at the PS5 or the XSX, if you're looking at one of those two consoles, they come pre-shipped, packaged. It's on there, HDMI 2.1. Why does that matter? HDMI 2.1 is the technology that we've all been waiting for. And to be honest, DisplayPort has done it for a good period of time now. And that is the actual capability to pass through 4K 120 Hertz to the monitor or TV that you're going to be using for gaming. And since your console is capable of outputting 4K at 120 Hertz with variable refresh rate, you need that HDMI 2.1 to receive all the benefits. I'll unpack it a bit. I think it's a very logical option to go with the NanoCell if you're a budget person. I've looked at it many times. The one thing I'll say is don't go above like a 49 or a 55 because it does look very dim and very gray once you get above 55 inches. Samsung Q80 versus the Sony X900H. Which one's better? Well, it really depends on the size that you want and the sale price at the time. If you can get one cheaper than the other in the size that you want, go for that. The Q80 does have some benefits over it. It has a great anti-glare panel, and it also has the ultra deep blacks, which gives you a wider viewing angle. I'd probably go with the Samsung Q80. Breaking down the LG OLED. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, this is my favorite TV. I have an OLED on the wall. You guys saw it in the last video. I think if you can go OLED at any point in time, please do it. Whether it's gaming, whether it's movies, whether it's streaming apps, or whether it's Blu-rays, they're gonna be optimized for the capability of what OLED has, and if you don't have it, you're missing out. Let's be real, everybody's got a budget. Everybody cares to a certain degree about what they have, and other people don't, which is why I gave multiple other options. But if you have any questions or you need a recommendation, put it down below in the comments or go check out that other video I did on should you buy a gaming monitor or should you buy a TV for your console, because I do break down some of the technologies and where they're different. So I'll leave it at that, you guys, and you already know the deal. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm gonna need you to at least comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Those are the three most important things that I can ask you to do. It allows me to keep expanding on what we're doing here. It allows me to create and stay active and involved, and I want to keep doing that for you guys. And I appreciate everyone who's already done these things because the channel has grown quite a bit from you guys in the last few months. So without further ado, you guys, I'll catch you in the next video.